past and threatens the fastest weapon. You wouldn't make it past a second, and that's the question. Play it brash and reckless, or choose a cautious solution you thought was prudent. In any sepulcher, pulchritude will become the putrid. It's that wealth that I'm pursuing. No mountain too steep, or dungeon too deep to send expendable marks up to the top of the peak or beneath. They see you bleed, they come like sharks to it, while I swim in that money bin like Carl Barks drew it. So send your national parks druid, I'll send him home in a natural box with a closed top and most of the parts included. Save your breath for a cleric confessor. Death is a lesson and life is a tenured professor. But if you're seeking my official advice, sign on the dotted line and initial it twice.
Hello, I'm Taco Brahe of Penny Arcade and or PAX. I'm also Ominifus Herewardron, CEO of Acquisitions Incorporated, but today I'm Chair for K Horcrims, and I'm here to run a game of Tales from the Loop for my friends, specifically these friends, beginning, as is traditional, with Douglas, a name I have circled on the sheet. Douglas the Blitzer Blitzen, now very recently converted into simply D. I think that will nourish all of us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot better. I feel
I'm
like
also
it's
simply nourished by D. Sorry.
I feel like we're arriving there.
It's
now,
paleo.
Take me down to the Kurger Bing, y'all. It's keto.
Bold. Now, to the right of my right, repping the rink, Danny K. Grass. But dude, like what I want is like the canonical, like in-universe. I want the in-universe version of the birds, like on her derby shit.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine? Oh.
Yeah, I can imagine it, and I am imagining it, and I'm transported, and I'm done with this
Checking
whole
out.
thing.
I'm done with it. To the left, at my left hand, the teen queen of crime, Rosie B. Stinger. Yeah.
Whoa, not.
Well, this is a Christian podcast.
She
Well,
learned
it is
that,
actually.
She just learned that gesture like 3 weeks ago, and she's using it too much.
Dude, is it a situation where she like talked to Beatrice, like
Yes.
about like it's like what is this? And it's like
That's the one.
And Beatrice is just a little bit older, so Beatrice told her that the middle finger is rude because it looks like a dick and balls, which is not the reason why it's a rude gesture at all. But that's what
She said like she learned this one too, like meh. And it's like no context to what that could possibly mean. Just know it's what you tell someone like, I'm not listening to you.
to the left of my left, emerging as though from a mist shroud, Chris Straub. Bringing him around. Now, I was not aware of this, and it was a very shameful experience when I came to terms with it. I thought, because we're familiar with the term flipping the bird, correct?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought that this was the bird. And it was flipping the bird, and like these were the wings.
No. This is the noble crane.
But then I showed it to Mike, and I was like, yeah, like the bird, like flip the bird. And he's like, no one has ever done that before.
That's true. That's not a gesture.
I've seen like this.
I think it looked like a
Well,
bird.
no, and you see this one like, right? You see like the one thumb.
When I was a kid, I always thought from the top, this looks like a
feather, a jet fighter.
F-15, yeah.
Yeah.
The intakes here.
Oh yeah,
and I
for
would
sure.
do that, and they're like, don't do that.
I was doing this all the time. I mean, look at this swoop. It's
Hey,
like a
so-
Veritech.
So are we like banned from YubTub now for doing a cuss?
Yeah, probably.
Wait,
Probably.
what?
I don't know. I just made it up. I wanted us to play the game.
Well, listen,
course.
we can play the game
course
banned
we
or no.
fucking
In fact, being banned from the Yub tub, I mean, that only burnishes our populist credentials. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Consider
That's
this. But anyway, so we have established our players. Now we have but to establish our scene. There have been very recently, revelations of a disturbing sort about what might be happening at the refuge. An exciting spiritual revival event, not far off of Division, frankly, very near the bottom of the hill, just to the right there, quite near the par 3 golf course that Mike Krahulik would one day work at as a ball boy. And if anyone is wondering what that entails, it involves people buying a bucket of balls and then hitting them at your young body as a form of sport. That's something that would happen during your day at work. But in this time, it still happens then.
He's in the cart collector though, right? Or is he just
looks like a ball boy? This is table talk, but
you can't. I was just gonna say, you can't get all of the balls that your boss wants you to get using the cart. There are a lot of balls that need the manual ball extractor.
Balls need individual attention.
Exactly. Oh yeah. I mean, historically, that works. But very recently, we have learned a couple things. One, we have learned that according to the most recent data from the city, there is a kind of terminus of the loop buried and largely dormant, but possibly capable of connecting into that infinite power source. Second, the teen queen of crime, Rosie B. Stinger, has spun the tumbler on the man who is operating the refuge, and has dismantled his psyche with her customary tools. She thinks that she may know exactly what this devil man craves most of all. What can penetrate the inner sanctum, and that is a young soul willing to improve spiritually.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready, Jerry. Are you ready?
Oh, I know that you are ready.
I'm champing at the bit today.
I love to champ at bits. Yeah. So that's the situation. I mean, obviously my parents went away for a week's vacation, but also the things I just described.
So Rosie just did an empathize check, got to figure out a bunch of stuff about this guy. So she looks around at the rest of you as we're like taking a walking tour, I suppose, of this revival compound.
Exactly.
And I try to make meaningful eye contact with Danny. Does it work?
In this game, no. That's a check. No.
Why is she looking at me?
Yeah. Okay.
I know. I look at you, and I'm like I look at you, and then my eyes start around like, is she looking at me? And then I realize you're looking at me, and now I'm just looking harder, like sweating under the pressure.
So I'm making meaningful eye contact, and I'm trying to psychically beam to you, like follow my lead. So I do this, and then I nod at you, and then I turn to this guy. Have we been introduced? Do we know his name? I can't remember.
I don't think we did, actually.
The name itself has not come across, but I do have this name if you are interested in securing it.
You know what? Nah. No, I would love to. So Rosie says, sir, I'm sorry. What's your name? Mr.
Stephen Mesner.
Mr.
But please, Stephen.
Stephen. I have this pamphlet that I picked up earlier that says, hold on. Come to the refuge and be born again.
He is the delectation of the prey is apparent.
Yeah. So I hold the pamphlet up and I say, Sir, Stephen, I feel, just looking at you and hearing the way you talk and seeing the excitement here, I think I'd like to be born again.
He says there's an energy, isn't there?
There is, and I'm picking up on it, and it's just like, I don't know, like I've made some wrong choices. I've done, I don't know, I lied to my parents, like those kinds of things. I feel like I could start a new life, like really, really get into it. And I make that meaningful eye contact with Danny again.
Yeah, she's awful. No. And then I realize, and then I look at your face and I go, wrong thing to say. And I go, I'm awful. Also, me. We are two bad people. The sexual sin.
Are we all together? We're all here, right?
Yeah.
I assume so.
You could get pulled into this very easily.
Please.
Then I immediately go, no, what are you doing? Stop, Rosie, stop, to both of them, because it thought I was saving Chris before. It's just like, no, we don't want anything to do with this. We want to go home.
Douglas, I reach way up to grab your sleeve in a way that's like, maybe my fingernails are a little sharp digging into your arm.
Ow!
Douglas, don't you have
right in the middle of this place? Ow! Ow!
You're hurting me.
Don't you have things that you regret, Douglas?
Yes, being grabbed, top of mind.
Douglas, we have all done a big sin.
I'm doing really well, but you could always do better in Christ's eyes.
Exactly.
Right?
I want to. Can I charm Douglas? Can I attempt to like not to charm you to like make you do what I want, but to like I'm using my natural charisma and our bond so that you understand like this is a classic Rosie goof 'em up. You got to come along for the ride.
Absolutely. You can do a check. So in this one, charm, honestly, is very similar to what would be a spell in another game, right? I mean,
what other games?
Well, I was just going to say,
name one.
Charm, lie, befriend, make people do what you want. I just want to emphasize that in this, charm includes a lot of really antisocial things in the same skill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, it was carefully selected.
Okay.
Can I use my leadership dice on myself?
Yeah, it's part of no, they're for other people, unfortunately.
Dang it. Okay. I rolled 8 d6s and got no 6s at all.
I love that. But remember, Rosie is actually is the youngest member of the party. And so
I got luck points.
Instead of skill points, you come away with luck. You cash in one of these luck points. Excellent. And you re-roll only failed dice, which in this case constitutes a panoply.
Okay, wonderful.
Come on.
Okay. Try again. It. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yay! I got a 6. 1 6.
Okay, see, that's what I love about this is that you can roll 8 dice and it doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean shit.
Nope.
But one success is all that is required, and that's why it gives you what you want for that success. Now,
and I use it the way that it works on you. The actual mechanics of this is that I use the name Dougie Fresh when I talk to you, which is our established way of like just go with it. It's our code. It's our code word. Our code word is Dougie Fresh.
Oh yeah, because this is your enforcer essentially, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You are essentially establishing a hierarchy with the use of this skill.
Exactly.
See, without like now I'm gonna not metagame so much because this is not the Rosie that we know and care about. This is this character. I'm now starting to think that you have this rapport with the others and you're actually making fun of religion and what I'm coming from. Because yes, we are Orthodox. But you're all like, oh, I'm evil too. Hee hee. I want to be good again. And now I'm going to hang back, but I'm starting to sour.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah, you grew up in it, right?
Thank you. It's not
And
funny.
so Stephen says, because first name, Stephen says, well, we have a dress rehearsal. And there's the weight on these two words is incalculable. It's like the weight of these two words in this sentence distend the entire language and pull it down. He says, we have a dress rehearsal tomorrow night, and I would love for you and your friends to be there. I think that it would be an opportunity for you to see the kind of power these beliefs represent.
I'm honored that you would invite us to something like that. I think all of us are free. And I notice that when I look around, which is, it's not an inquiry. I'm just making sure that none of you have the temerity to disagree with me. And I noticed, Chris, that you're kind of like, woomph. And you were the one I didn't feel like I needed to convince, because I was like, he'll go along with it. Of course he will. This is classic Chris Straub stuff. But now I see that I'm losing you, and I'm like, shit. Okay.
Now,
Okay.
I would like a charm. I would like a charm from Danny. Just once, imagine that it's like a LiDAR array is just being played over the group.
Yeah, all right. But I'm good at charm now.
And I want you to take a leadership die.
Oh, I'm so good. That's 7, baby. Come on. I can't screw it up. And yet, I did indeed screw it up. Nothing.
I love it.
But you know what? This leaves room for some interesting play. So let's play in this
Exactly. I think this is actually a plus, honestly, for our story. So that is this scene here. So we've agreed to come here to this event tomorrow night, right? Now, there's a reason why I situated this particular revival on the east side of Division, because from the east side of Division right here, across the street, now understand that this is like 6 lanes and a turn lane worth of traffic, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you come out here, your parents teach you to drive on this road because it has a lot of unique texture in terms of what skills are required, right? Yeah. It also has very large embankments on the side, so you can pull the car over and freak out for a little bit, which does occasionally happen. Now, Patterson's is right across the street. And you have agreed to get picked up over there instead, Danny. Your mom is going to roll through. She's used to going over there anyway. You can get picked up there. Everybody else goes back on the bus. You have filled out the necessary form already.
I was going to say, this is going to require a form.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, they know. I mean, the truth is that, you leave to head out to the prairie. It's really 1 block up from here. It's one of those really, really long blocks that they have when you're less city, moving out to places that are only becoming city. Yes. Right. And so it takes some doing. Like, you consider briefly heading up to the street that like Mead is on and using the actual crosswalk, such as the profundity of this 6-lane excursion, especially at the end of the school day. But you can manage this challenge. Ultimately, you decide just to run your ass off and tear across. You head back to the cat house, and in there, and you can see that your mom is actually talking to. She is talking to members of the team.
No, thank you. None for me. Okay. Well, I come. Now, here's the thing. You would think that I would come hustling up, but to walk too fast would be, to look like a ding dong in front of the people that I'm trying to impress. Uh-huh. So I split the difference, and instead I do a kind of fast, cool walk, which just looks like a shambling horror. So picture that.
Lope.
So she's no, like a only partially human creature.
Right.
Indeed.
So you can see, and it's like you have a second to sort of pause and see like the situation out there. And your mom is talking to one of the blockers from the BBs, Julie Cantwell.
Okay.
And it's like, and you know that she's Julie Cantwell, but you also know that she's Titty Pride.
I do know that she is Titty Pride.
Right.
Incredible.
You know her exactly. You know her more as Titty Pride. But she is actually talking, like their conversation is quite familiar.
What do you mean?
I mean that this is not the first conversation that they have ever had. Like there is an ease to their
All right.
There is an ease to their dialogue with one another. And so Julie is a little, you can tell that she's a little agitated. The thing that you hear as you come in is she talks about those assholes across the street.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, yeah, it seems like they might have gotten to Chrissy.
Oh, okay.
Chrissy is, Chrissy Marsh, you know her, obviously,
What do I know?
Civilian name. You know her better as Swamp Witch.
Yes. Perfect. Love it. Sure.
Incredible.
And she's just like, yeah, she's like, if we, that's our roster. We might have to get you back out there. And your mom looks left and sees you come in and begins to just vomit out words, like to move the conversation to one of perhaps 3 different forks. She's like, I haven't seen Excalibur around here lately when I'm dropping off Danny. And then she says, I'm really glad, I appreciate that you went with boony bitches and not extreme pussy assassins. I feel like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. You know what I mean?
Danny,
real quick as an aside, how much did you enjoy obviously you have a list of these things. How much did you enjoy?
Oh, no, the table talk of that one is, I said something EPA related like that, like that. And I was like pussy assassins? I don't know, come up with something clever. So this is delightful.
No, it had to be in there as like the other name. But yeah. There's a little
Beautiful.
They're both looking over, and so Julie says, "This is your girl."
Hello, I am entering the conversation as if for the first time and did not hear everything that was already being said.
And
She says under her breath.
she says, yeah, we see her around here a lot. You thinking about getting her into the family business? And there's an ambiguity there. There are fully 2 businesses she could be referring to.
And the thought of, I'm still not piecing it together because I'm racked with nervousness. And I just say, oh, Mom, they don't want to hear about the farm stand.
She says, like a little bit too quickly, yeah, you're probably right. And then Julia's like, well, we gotta give her the tour. And she just with a tiny gesture of her head that, just an afterthought, the smallest motion of the invite from the head movement is like a black hole has been manufactured in this woman, and you must obey.
There was never a doubt that was what was happening.
So she takes you around the whole place.
Sure.
That
I know.
In the back, absolutely. But she shows you individual scuff marks and how they got there, right?
I love it.
And that kind of stuff. And then over to the trophy case. Sort of like in the middle of the back is like a much older photo of the team. And in the center there is a group, and there is a woman holding a baby.
Mhm.
And underneath her picture it says Mama Bear. And there is a baby with a derby helmet that is too big
I love it.
over the top. And your Hannah says, wow, we probably gotta get home.
Mom, is this you?
We
my
you know,
Did you used to be cool, Mom?
Julie doubles over in laughter.
Mom. And I look at her accusingly and I go, why didn't you tell me that you used to be so cool? Look at this. Just like pressed up against the glass. I also am imagining that like it's mostly pictures of old teams, but if there's any trophies, they're like super ironic, and they're all for things that have absolutely nothing to do. Like there would not be a roller skate one. There's like
no,
bowling.
and they're made up of things. Like one of the trophies is a coffee mug that has been spray painted gold.
Oh, and it's like chipping. Oh, I love it. Like clearly what was like somebody's pair of underwear has been like put on a plaque.
Shellacked.
Exactly. And then as the group of you is heading to the exit, you can look up and see you are now leaving the cat house. And Julie says, if you see Chrissy, will you send her around? And your mom, Hannah, in this context, says, of course. And she kisses her on the cheek. And the two of you head back out. Of course, you have to walk around the larger public-facing Patterson's building for the normies. Back out to the ample parking that exists just out front.
I'm dead and I died. Thank you. Thank you for witnessing my last moments of life.
No. So what we need now is, does anybody want to manufacture a scene? Does anybody want me to manufacture a scene? I can offer these services, and it would be my pleasure to.
I was going to say, are we in the same? Should we stay in the same time frame or see what is going back?
This is
on the bus
everything.
back?
Everything. Yeah, exactly. I mean, everything that's happening right now. No, the only character you wouldn't have access to in that case would be, obviously, would be Danny. But there's still a great scene to be had on the bus.
Yeah. Let's shoot for. Let's see if we can amend. Let's see if Chris can be brought back on board, because even sitting on the return bus, short as it is, but sitting as far from
oh man, so it's truncated. In a traditional bus, you might be able to have some meaningful range.
Right, but maybe in this case, it's like a little like looking out the window, sure, like, but that would be a casual. I'm ignoring you, but it's a little bit too stuck right up against it. Like I don't care. It's fine.
God, I have done that. My face has been on that glass. Ugh.
All right, so I sit down next to Chris then after, I don't know, probably no more than about 3.5 minutes of being on cold shoulder.
It's not going to be a long ride. Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah,
and
you have to make the move.
You feel that the like cracked leather seats just sway ever so slightly when this tiny little body comes and plumps down next to you, and she's like, "All right, what's wrong, nerd?"
God, that's what's wrong. I'm not a nerd. I mean, I am, but you don't have to be so mean about it. Why, like, why are you making fun of me today?
I'm sorry. Listen, I have made fun of you a lot, but what are you talking about? I didn't make fun of you today.
You guys are making us dig, and I know that like D is like your boyfriend, and and that.
Ew.
But I didn't have to dig, but I was trying to do the work.
No, it's just he's good at digging. It's like one of the 4 things he's really good at. That's all. I was like, when I look at you, I don't think like you'd be good at digging. I fear you'd be good at like hacking the mainframe or whatever.
Really? Thank you. That's the first nice thing you've ever said to me.
This is a very small bus, so I'm like,
Oh yeah, you
Okay,
have to
you guys
hear
can
the
all
whole
hear this.
thing.
You guys can
Yeah.
hear all of this. This is not a secret.
Yeah, it's not a secret. But I do drop my voice for like, I know that he's your boyfriend or whatever, but
And then I like when I say ew, it's deafening.
it's so loud.
Ew! Dude, gross. And then I start laughing and I turn and I like lean over the back of the seat where my elbow is in your personal space, Chris. I'm like, dude, D, he thinks you're my boyfriend.
And then I loudly squeal, ew.
That's not what I misspoke and you misheard me. So
I'm
ask the
sorry. I'm
driver.
sorry.
They don't.
No, listen, I wasn't making fun of you today. And I know that you don't go to my church. I don't see you there. So if that whole like God thing was making you uncomfortable, then I'm
No, I have to.
sorry, I guess.
I have to go to church every Sunday. But there's 2 masses on Sunday for Orthodox church, and I gotta go, and it's all in Greek. So I don't know I don't even know why we're there. And you have to eat an entire loaf of unleavened bread. That's the communion. It's an entire roll. And when I have to eat it, I just don't. I thought you were calling me not just like a science nerd, but also like a God nerd.
Ew, no, I wouldn't. You're definitely a nerd, but like I'm going to teach you about science, not about God. I believe that Jesus saves us. So and this is obviously like there's no conviction behind it. This is just something I am wearing. I don't know if this is an 80s thing, but when I was in school, I was a social Christian because everybody in my school was Christian. So I had like the rainbow WWJD bracelet,
Yeah, for
whatever
sure.
whatever the
Wow.
1986 equivalent of this is. She's in it. She's in it for the connections and the networking.
Yeah.
I would say like with the same amount of conviction that, maintains that social contract.
Uh-huh.
I go, yeah, he's our savior. Of course. Yeah.
Okay, I want to make
No.
very meaningful eye contact with you and just see, can I empathize and see if this
Yeah,
nerd
you
is full of it?
can
Okay.
you can use these skills on your friends.
Do you want to contest it at all, Chris, or do you want to just let me empathize with you?
Oh no, you can get in there.
Okay,
I don't
I'll
think
get in there.
good enough would
Okay,
be.
so I got 6 empathy dice. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh boy, 2 6s on a 66.
Hey.
So I get in there immediately, and I'm like I say I'm not gonna ask questions. I just know. I think the only thing I'm interested in knowing is like, does he feel kind of the same way I do about all this rigmarole? And it turns out he does. And there's this moment between us where I give you this look, and you look back at me, and I'm like,
Yeah, I'm like
we understand each other in that.
that
moment.
makes me brighten up. Now
Okay.
we've got a common connection.
At this religion talk, I don't interject other than an ew about the boyfriend comment without turning around. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do kind of turn around on the back of the seat, and I address Rosie, and I say, "What was this? What was all that? Speaking of
Okay.
God talk, what was this?"
I know, right? I thought you'd never ask. And I get real cozy, and I make sure Danny's listening.
Oh wait, she's not here though. Not
Danny's-
on this bus ride.
Oh, Danny's not on the bus with us?
Not
Just for this
because
bus
your
ride,
mom
yeah.
Back,
came
just
and
this
picked
time.
you up.
That's right.
Shit. Okay.
Just like in real life.
She could
Well-
say something like pretend like she thought Danny would hear it, and then she remembers. Oops.
She looks around at the end of the bus ride. She realizes like, oh, Danny wasn't even there. No, she's just like, well, I'll explain to Danny later. But then I go into all of it. I let you guys know, like, I read this guy like a book. I figured out that he's very interested in manipulating, but he's very interested in the saving the saving of the souls, but only the ones that are in the tent revival. And we can best manipulate him and figure out what this church is up to by pretending that we want to unburden ourselves of our own personal regrets and be born again. And I also tell them about the conversation I heard in the green room.
Yeah. And to which then I go, but we're not going back next.
Tomorrow night for the dress rehearsal. Yeah, we are.
We have to. You saw what, you know what happened with my dad and all that. I don't want anybody else getting mixed up in it.
This is just church stuff. I'm not hearing anything different than any other church. What are we? Who are we? Encyclopedia Brown? This isn't our mystery to solve. I don't know.
It's cool. It's a cool series.
This is church stuff. This is normal church stuff as far as I can tell.
Yeah, what about the 2 barrels of ice cream? What about the 2 barrels of Ozymandias or whatever it was that were in the green room? What's that about with the gauges? That's never good. That's never good.
Yeah, that means that if there's a gauge, it means that it could go into the red. And that if there was no chance of that happening, there wouldn't be a gauge on it.
There's a lot of weird shit. I mean, you make a good point with the gauge.
I'm coming around on that.
Coming around. I hadn't considered the gauge.
Not engineers. Like, that's just, you know what? Yeah.
I don't, but then we could just sneak in and see the gauge. Let's just look at the gauge.
Well, I don't think they're going to let us back there unless we're like in good with Steven.
Listen,
who
I think
apparently, is afraid of my dad, like we all are.
I think we might be on kind of thin ice with our teacher anyway. So if we ask to go back, she might think it's like, oh, it's working. This program is effective. So I feel like that's like serves true purposes.
Yes.
Maybe we get extra credit. Maybe we don't have to do this anymore.
Is there anyone you're ever not trying to please?
No. It's how I have and will continue to navigate my life.
So you're
because it works.
D, you are sort of like leaning over the back of the chair, or the back of the bus seat.
Yeah.
Talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
There is a second where, like in the far back left of the bus, you see a shape, something like a humanoid shape, seated there in the back of the bus.
Okay.
And it points, like it raises its hand at you and gestures powerfully at you, and then gestures at itself and then back at you, and then throws its hands up in the air and disappears.
Oh my God.
You are the only person who sees it.
That would be startling and terrifying. So I would react as such with a scream and a fluster. And go, Bagaba! There was a humanoid shape.
No, the bus veers with your terrified shriek and then rights itself.
I mean, I am like my face. If I'm if I have my face like leaning like this on the back of a bus seat, and you two are sitting in that other seat, I am screaming in terror. Like 3 feet away from you, like less than.
Oh my God!
Yeah, what? I hit the deck. I go down.
Yeah.
Especially if the bus is moving. I think we're gonna crash. You saw it first.
And then
this bus writes itself, so don't worry.
There was a thing and it pointed at me.
Who?
Explain
In the
that.
bus?
Checkmate, atheists. Yeah.
What? Well, now we really have to go back.
Well, this didn't happen. We're gone now. This is a new mystery. Church solved. Now let's figure out the ghost of the haunted bus.
I miss Danny so much. All right, Douglas, can you show us on the bus where you saw the ghost?
This is the meme, the fucking moon's haunted me, but it's just Douglas with a baseball bat, like, bus is haunted.
Yeah. I mean, which seat was it? I guess if we're towards the back, it probably was like one over and one back, I'm assuming.
Right.
Yeah,
Pretty
exactly.
close.
Exactly.
If it was out of their vision, it's
Yeah. It's
one of the
behind
seats
them and to
behind
the
them.
left. Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's go look for ectoplasm or whatever. And I'll hop right off the seat and just go trudging back to this wherever this ghost was.
You don't see any of the typical leavings.
Right.
Not the typical ones, but
of spectral activity.
Now, atypical ones.
Yeah.
Tell me what's there.
And
Hair.
obviously we're definitely we're moving into a
no,
mat
ghost
of-
hair.
a dense protein-packed mat of
yeah, I
hair.
was gonna say that they don't leave behind slime; they leave hair.
Not
A
anymore.
lot of hair.
Not anymore. Not since Ghosts went keto. It's passing through that community, literally. So, but around the obviously we are moving into the fall and winter months. Certainly, the glass of the bus is quite cold. But you would say that more than expected are tiny forks of frost
Oh,
reaching up from the glass in the rear left corner. And that tiny little small lacy fabric of ice is sort of creeping in from, like, in the emergency door in the back, in that small round window.
ugh. Okay.
Huh.
That's
Well, a ghost was definitely here.
There's no other way to describe frost. Frost equals ghost. I know what I saw. I am's what I am's, and I knows what I saws.
And it pointed at itself, and it pointed at you, and it pointed at itself, and then it shrugged and went away.
It disappeared as it shrugged.
that's mean.
What does it mean? Yeah, it
That's-
sounds like it's
that's-
making fun of you.
It feels like it was making fun of me. And then I like put a consolatory shoulder on Chris's, like, hand on Chris's shoulder, like,
I don't like that
is
too
this what it feels like? Is this what you feel like all the time?
Yeah, but from the living.
Douglas only gets mocked by the undead.
Yeah.
But from the living. That's very funny, Chris.
I'm gonna go back. I think we have to go back
To the revival.
When it's
We're gonna go
in
back.
the morning.
We've
I'm
got-
going. Yeah.
You're going in the morning?
Well, no. Whenever they
Okay.
want us.
Yeah.
Although
the
maybe we
dress
could
rehearsal
go early.
is in the evening. Yeah, but it's up to you when and how you want to get there. That's the type of game we run around here.
We need to. Yeah. So let's.
Let's
feel
get
like-
there.
yeah.
Let's get to that scene.
Let's
Unless
hop
any
there.
of you want to do an extra. little
Oh no,
moment.
no. I mean, I just want to make sure that everybody has a chance to poke in their snoots.
You all do that, and then I have nothing to do with it. Great, cool, done.
You don't know
And I
anything
just
about
log
it.
off.
You don't know anything
gonna
about
write
it.
Gay
We go.
poetry.
Yeah, you don't show up when we go the next day. You're not. You're.
You're
I'm
looking at
done.
trophy case. Your stuff is now B plot, C plot material. Sorry.
It's all trash. No. But yeah. A quick call, Rosie, would be really funny, especially since we can picture that.
Sure.
We
Yeah,
can picture
yeah.
that super long ass cable phone.
Yeah,
out
the
there in the
grass,
farmhouse.
in the grass kitchen.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So, again, I kicked my sisters out of my room so that I can use the phone in private. And there's a 20-minute fight about it. And I finally trick them, and I lock the door. And I know I've got about 5 minutes before they go find the lockpick, and they get in. So I call. Doot, 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 doot. Ring.
It says in England.
There we go. I pick up the phone
Hurry up.
and I go and I say, I say, Grass Family Farm Stand, it's after hours, but how can I help you? It's a
Danny,
greeting my mom's telling me to do.
Danny, are you by yourself? I
look
don't
around.
introduce myself.
I look around. Yes.
Okay. And I fill her in on everything that happened, especially the ghost.
Mhm.
And let her know that attendance at tomorrow's dress rehearsal is mandatory.
Oh, okay.
Can you borrow your mom's truck again?
No. I am. Do you know how lucky I am? I got her home last time. Oh, sorry. Do you know how lucky I am? I got her home last time without her finding out.
There's a long, frosty, disapproving silence.
And I say, "Don't look at me like that."
I like that in this game, the phone hand is
the
our
proper,
version of the
Party call?
the psychic.
Yeah.
The party line.
There's like a really petite clearing of the throat, and that's all you hear.
You should get that checked out. Anyway, like I was saying, I can't borrow my mom's truck.
I think Rosie's waiting on like the peer pressure. Oh, I know what it is. I know what she does. So that after a lot of, and there's still there's nothing from you, like there's no give.
No.
And she goes, something really interesting happened to me in the library the other day.
What?
There's this new girl. I don't know if you know her. I think her name is Brittany Ramone.
Oh, hey, look, I gotta go. What time should I pick you guys up tomorrow?
You know what's weird? Oh, I like that. That's all she had.
Oh, that's all it took.
Yeah. Look, I got homework to do, but just let me know, and I'll do it. When am I doing this?
Oh, I think what time is the dress rehearsal too?
The dress rehearsal. I mean, it'll be dark enough for them to really execute their vision by around 7.
Okay. Make sure that you have us all picked up no later than 6:30. And I have Brittany's number, so bye. Click.
No. But there's no way I can take the truck. Mom's gonna be like, this is what I'm saying out loud. She'll be up by then. Like,
Uh-oh.
I have to take it out from under her nose. This is flagrant.
Or you could ask permission.
No one says through the dead dial tone. Beep. I hang up the phone. I look at the cat or the dog. We have a lot of animals. There's a house chicken. What do I do? All named Onyx. What do I do?
Does your mom know about how important God is? I know you don't have time for it on a Sunday, but...
I wish I could have this important conversation with my friends. I have to go ask my mom real quick.
Yes. Please play out the scene of you asking your mom to borrow.
Yeah, for sure. Your mom has the she has the ledger open. It's tax season, and she's got the 10 key lightning fast 10 key skills, and there is a prodigious ribbon ejecting out the back, because most of the sales for the business are a lot of very small individual, $10 to $20 sales is the entire business basically.
That's true. Well, you know what? I appreciate the work that she does. Okay. So I lurk outside the door, and I want it to be known that the vibration of my anxiety can be felt from 5 miles away.
Gosh, what is the let's see. I know there's something that my dad would have said if I had been on the threshold of a door. I'm just trying to think of
yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Oh no. She still works. She's still working like super hard. Like you can still it. She's like, I think I hear a mouse.
And Danny just like kind of leans in and goes, hey, mom. Hey. What are you doing?
this, and then she keeps.
Great. You work so hard.
What do you want?
Mom?
Mm-hmm.
And she's doing the mental math where she's like, what card do I pull? And she walks up to the desk and she puts both of her palms down on the table, a little too loud, but then she goes with it. She goes, I need you to trust me.
That makes me feel like I shouldn't trust you.
I know, but I'm going to be
the
16.
ratcheting of the ribbon stops.
I'm going to be 16 and
I know how old you are. You knew I was there when you were born, right?
thank you for coming to that. I still appreciate it.
Wouldn't miss it, kid. Wouldn't miss it, kiddo.
Mom, I think that there's something going on that I can get to the bottom of, but I need the truck.
When you say you need the truck,
I, of course,
do you mean
your truck, Mom. Mom, your truck. You know, your truck, the only truck that you have.
Where are you going?
I don't think you'll believe me even if I told you.
Try me.
And I stay for a second and I try and think of like how to relate, you know, maybe everything except my friend sure did see a ghost.
Just
and
trying to stuff your teen life into the aperture your parents can understand.
And I say, it's an intervention.
She sets her pen down and she says, now I know the why. What's the who?
And I think about it and I go, you know, the people across the street that Chrissy got involved with. That was her name, right? At the Derby? Yes, Chrissy.
Chrissy Marsh, the Swamp Witch.
Yes.
Her jaw sets inside her cheek. You can see that, like, just externally. And then she says, mm-hmm.
I say, they want something to do with my friends.
She says, so you're not going into town?
This is not.
This isn't considered in town. Just so you know, like,
no.
curve right there is at the base of the hill. Okay.
Oh, no. I very much get the
I just wanted to make sure.
The parental gist. Yes.
It's out north.
And I say, Mom, none of this is for fun.
And you're not going up Division into downtown? You're not?
I am not.
You're going to go to Francis? I mean, how far south are you going?
So technically I'm just going to like the end of the loop, right?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. I say, Mom, I'm just going down the road.
Why didn't you say so? And then she immediately begins working again.
And then I
and you're left with that. Like, this is the right face. Like, you thought you were gonna have to climb Mount fucking Everest.
And I gotta say something.
Downtown.
I gotta say something, and I go, and then I go, I already won. And I just back out of the room as if any additional noise or movement will make the results go away.
No, like you're on some kind of superconducting platform. Like, there's no movement. You just go.
Yes.
Out and then around the corner.
Yes.
Yeah, you have access. You have access to truck. She's seen you drive. She lets you drive all on the farm all the time. Like, she knows that she can trust you to do that. The main thing she doesn't want is to have a police car drive you home.
True. And I don't want that. So on this, we agree.
Exactly. Exactly. You have access to the device.
Wonderful. Well, I want everyone to know that I spend an entirely sleepless night until exactly 7:13 or 6:13.
Yeah.
At which point I rise from the bed that I've been sitting in all night, fidgeting, to go and pick everybody up. And this time I pick Rosie up. Does not matter what is the optimal order. I pick Rosie up first.
Yes.
And then I grab Doug, and then I grab Chris. Which means that Doug has to sit in the middle.
I sit in the truck bed.
Oh, perfect. Love
I'm
it.
all freaked out. I don't want to be inside a vehicle.
Yeah, you want to be in the back by yourself where there's no one to corroborate whatever happens
That
to
ghost
you.
is going to throw you out of the bed.
Incredible.
My only data point is that they're inside of vehicles. I'm technically outside the vehicle. I'm theoretically safe.
Yeah.
When you pick me up, and we're alone together for a few minutes before you grab Doug, I from the inner pocket of my sticker covered notebook,
Mm-hmm.
I produce an immaculately folded, very small piece of paper that's folded into exact squares, and I hand it to you with an abundance of casualness. It's like,
I take it, I look at it, and then I just put it in the side drawer of the truck, and I go, I'm not gonna need that.
I love it, dude. I love it. It's just like it's like Chekhov's number.
Yeah. No, she can do it on her own. She's convinced she will be back in that truck for that number. Don't worry. By the end of this episode.
Suddenly, over the radio, you hear a voice that says, "And here's a message from your principal, Miss Gramps. High five your Husky kids for raising the most money in history during the chocolate bar fundraiser. Thank you all so much. Peace to you all. From your principal, Miss Gramps."
She's paying for radio spots now?
Yeah.
No, she has to work a second job as an early morning radio.
Oh, it's like, did the school board approve that use of that? Seems like a weird use of money.
Well, that's loop technology. She could just hack into the radio and say whatever she wants.
loop technology makes the radio free here, so you don't have to pay to be on it.
Oh yeah.
You never leave school. Now, so who else do we pick up, and then we'll do our break?
I think we got them all.
Yeah, we established the order. Me.
Unless you want to grab that ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, should we pick the ghost up and go swing by that bus?
No.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I'm convinced the ghost is haunting me.
Yeah. Well, there's probably some truth to that.
And it's vehicle related, as far as I can tell.
Indeed. Now, Shadow Council, may our labors please you. It has to do with gasoline, flange. I don't know. We will be right back with more of Test C Teams. No, go nowhere. Hello, I'm Jeffrey K. Horcrims. Welcome back to Test C Teams. When last we saw our heroes this is the best part. I mean, historically, it's like you steal the truck and that's like a big part of it. But you were able to ask, you literally asked permission for the getaway vehicle.
I'm a nerd.
I know.
This is how I do my diabolical shenanigans. But you know what? I would never tell them.
I was going to say, like, in the car, I say, like, how'd you sneak it away from your mom this time?
Oh boy, oh boy.
You know what? Is Rosie paying attention?
Okay, so Chris is in the middle, squished up for no good reason.
I don't want to
Rosie's
touch
on the
girls.
outside,
I think
and
it's
Rosie
not
is
allowed.
writing in her notebook, but it is
Perfection.
unclear if she's listening.
Okay. So I say loud enough for Rosie's benefit. I go, yeah, I mean, you know, it's no problem to do this kind of thing for me. All the, you know, whatever. I'm just like ready to go. And then quietly I say to you, I go, I just asked.
You know what? And that would be a really special thing because that would be like, wow, trusted with the actual truth instead of just stories, instead of just more nonsense.
That's because Chris is sweet.
It's a comfort.
Yeah.
Although there's no reaction from Rosie's face, and I don't
Sure.
think she hears the whispered part. She definitely heard the first part, and there was like a pause, and she flipped back to a well dog-eared page, and she writes down, surprisingly pretty cool.
Surprisingly bad at lying.
Absolutely. So the loop, not the loop in the typical sense of Tales from the Loop, but the route that required, that was required to secure all of your allies here. At the end of this loop, when you're making your way back up, I just want to establish that there is a 7-Eleven on that corner. So if you need anything, or if you think you might need any supplies or anything like that, there is a 7-Eleven. And there's a few minutes here if you wanted to drop in and grab something.
Yeah, I ask for Danny to pull over at the 7-Eleven.
Do we have time for this?
Yes.
There's
Okay.
always time for 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven trademark.
I don't know. Okay, well, I pull over. That was Mentos.
Yeah, it was
Okay, whatever.
Okay. And I tell Chris, I kind of half look at you and I'm like, you come with me. And I open the car and I jump out the incredibly long distance for me with my little legs from the seat.
And then I'll just stay with the car. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I jump out of the back.
okay, I say to you, Walnut, like, I don't have to. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Perfect.
I don't have to. Oh yeah, man. And
Yeah, I better go.
those restrooms, like those exterior restrooms where you get the key.
That's heaven.
There is a.
Oh,
there
thank
is.
heaven. 7-Eleven.
There is exactly. There is. It's probably 3 solid pounds of metal fish attached to this key.
Yeah. They don't want anybody stealing that coveted old dirty key. You got to find a way to keep that on the premises. Okay.
Once we're inside, I like to think that the kinds of things that Rosie would write down in her book are the kind of just dumbass, basic, surface level observations that any human being can have about another human being, with a few exceptions. There's some notable ones. She's definitely noticed that Doug and Kathy hang out a lot. So that's in the notebook, but she hasn't drawn any conclusions about that.
Mm-hmm.
However, one of the surface she has this about almost everyone is their favorite flavor of Slurpee. So let me just go around the room here and figure out, starting with you, Danny, what is your favorite flavor of Slurpee?
Oh yeah.
My favorite flavor of Slurpee.
What color? I guess.
Right. It's more of a color.
Boy, not for me. I got to answer all queued
Blue.
up.
Okay. Definitely. She's got blue.
I don't know. Like
But this is a character moment. I totally think, because I don't think your mom, she's not stopping at 7-Eleven, right? This isn't a norm for your family, I don't think.
My God,
It's a
no, it's absolutely it would have been blue, but it's purple. It's
Perfect.
And Chris?
Is this for you or for Rosie's asking?
No, Rosie already has it written down in her
Okay,
notebook.
so she already knows. All right, mine is Chris is.
What's the
if there's-
Coca-Cola one?
Yeah, it's Coca-Cola and the cherry. If it's working, mix them together. Now, if one or the other is not there, maybe you don't get a Slurpee that day.
Excellent.
See, I always thought this was going to be a throwback to Cthulhu, and you were just going to say blue.
No, come on, that's simple. That's no good.
Because it would turn your tongue blue. Okay,
Yeah.
and what about you, Doug?
I was going to say cola.
Oh, it's so good.
Chris took cola.
We could bond over that.
The hell we will.
So the character
I'll never
choice-
drink it again.
what Rosie has decided to do, because on our first episode, she only bought Slurpees for herself and Doug.
Yeah, this is the sequel, right?
Yeah.
But now she's buying Slurpees for everybody with her blackmail money that her parents don't know about. So she has decided, but she needed Chris to come so that they had extra hands because she's not going to carry them. So Doug and Chris will be carrying the Slurpees.
Okay. Well,
I was gonna say, while you get the Slurpees, I was gonna get other beef jerky and other snacks.
Oh yeah, it's a Slim Jim, perhaps.
Yeah.
oh man, enjoy it.
A Slim Jim.
You're gonna need that quick energy.
Exactly.
And so drinking a Slurpee, I'm like, we're gonna need all this sugar energy to do. What are we gonna do once we tell them we want to learn about God, and then what do we find out? We just see what they're up to, and then we call the police.
Ghosts. I'm here to learn about ghosts from this guy.
Maybe Chris, you probably read books about ghosts. Why don't you tell us some stuff about ghosts?
Well, number one, they're pretend. And then that's it. And then you can kind of do whatever you want.
They're pretend.
That's why they're fun.
Hold on, I'm gonna roll some d.
Oh, you're muted. You muted yourself.
Sorry, I said I'm gonna roll some d6s because I want to figure out whether the cherry is working at the 7-Eleven.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, that's nice. Yeah.
I got one success for the cherry. If you're looking for it.
We're contested.
Okay, good. If you got a success, we're good.
Yeah,
I didn't get anything. But the cherry is working, so we can do your mix 'em up.
It's working, but I should establish that it's as it's being pulled, the pressure is such that it's almost like a rigid, coherent beam.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
that's
be cautious.
new.
Be
That
cautious.
means there's a lot of ice heavy in the stack. So we're in for a good time.
you hit that pull, but I think that young Chris Straub is actually like, all right,
Yeah.
we're good. This is if, to the extent that Slurpees have a cream. This is the cream.
This is the one. Usually only the store operator gets to enjoy this one. That's that first draw.
Oh yeah, it's hot stuff. It's
Nothing
hot
like
stuff.
it.
Anyway,
All
I
right.
buy everybody Slurpees and I bring it out. Well, I have my servants bring it out for us. But I think Chris, you're carrying yours and Danny's. So you've got
Yeah.
a purple one and a cherry Coke one.
Mhm.
But before you get in the car, I take the purple one from you right next to Danny's driver's window. And I hand it through the window so that Danny knows it's coming from me and not you.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
It's no problem.
No, I definitely see Danny. I feel like Danny is someone who drives like with their arm out the window, holding the drink.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
Type of situation?
Normally she like drives where it's like she's holding onto the top of the window, and then yes, now the drink.
Yeah.
When
No
I get in the truck bed, I pull Slim Jims and salty snacks and stuff that I had gotten, and I put them through the open the window in the back, and I hand it in through the window.
Just feed them in.
So I just like hand them out. Yeah.
I like the
And then I put my head in a little bit,
Yeah.
talk to Danny, and I just go, "Did Rosie tell you about the ghost? The ghost that we saw on the bus?"
Yeah, I heard all about your shadow.
Our shadow. We were all there.
Well, we weren't all there, but yeah, I heard
What
what
if
happened to
it's-
y'all.
What if it's not a ghost? Because it's not a ghost. What if it is in fact? Who do you know that would have gotten stuck inside of the loop like my dad was? Where's your dad? Does the loop claim fathers?
Oh, if only. No. No. The Colonel's back at home,
God, does it claim fathers? Ooh.
building a
Right.
bunker or something, I assume. I don't.
Absolutely.
Do I know anyone that was ever had an accident with the loop?
Well, there's been a lot of conversations, certainly in hushed tones. I mean, your family has a very fundamental relationship with the business of the loop.
Oh, that's right.
And so it is guaranteed that your father knows people or who has hired people who were subject to these forces in some way. Absolutely.
Oh God. So anyone who had an accident on the loop blames my father and haunts me.
Well, and that's the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Love it.
All
It's
right.
very good.
Let's proceed.
I guess once you present that potential option out there, I wilt like a flower and I stop talking about it.
No, see, this is we have to do our Christmas special is just a Christmas Carol, but powered by the loop.
Oh my God.
Where you have to traverse your father's sins. What a delight that would be. Now, so these, it should be said, these Slurpees, these haunted Slurpees. No, they're sitting a little strange in your stomachs already as you pull out of the driveway and toward this strange triumvirate of large tents. As I suggested before, 2 slightly smaller tents and then the largest tent in the middle. And they are, of course, lit from within. And the strains of Our God is an Awesome God, the church band version, have already begun to seep out of the structures.
I'm in the band now. I see these cool boys. I'm like, I'm gonna be anodyne for once in my life.
I'm gonna leap in.
This is what's got me charged up. No, I want to. So, do we have to park? No, we were invited, so we don't have to like park far enough away to not be seen or whatever.
No, there's room. I mean, the truth is, the ground is, especially now, the ground is firm enough in the cold, so that it really is just cordoned off. This sort of rentable area is large enough that it's being used as the parking lot and then also as the venue. It's just configurable space.
Is there a procession? Like people are being greeted and as they enter?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, as soon as the truck pulls around, there are kind-faced people directing cars to be situated around.
I feel like we shouldn't park like where they could stack us. I feel like we should park where we could leave if we have to.
Oh, I park. I like pull in, and then there's a parking space right next to the entrance.
Yeah,
and I just park there. And like it parked terribly. I got cattywampus across two spots because this thing turns on a hubcap. But like, yeah.
I like it's just Danny's nature to know how to get out of a situation as fast as humanly possible. So it's just instinct,
socially and physically. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly.
A+, but yeah, the energy is powerful here. There is a lot of people that have a lot of expectations about what this event can produce for them.
This is a hell of a dress rehearsal.
Yeah. What's some of this crowd hubbub? What do we hear?
Yeah.
Are there like families and stuff, or are these largely solo?
Absolutely. There's lots of individual people, but and they are being invited, bodily, like just being clasped up and
so
loved in a way that they need.
BOD, not BAWD.
Yeah.
Not bodily.
No. Yeah. This is not a pirates sort of situation. I'm not trying to get a Pirates of the Caribbean vibe out here. But yeah, it's these people are starving for what this place represents, and they are eating for the first time in a while.
When we get out of the car, I mean, seeing all these people and I'm like, they want to sing hymns and they all want to talk to each other, and I don't want to talk to any of them. So I say to Rosie, I say, where was the waste? Where was the
yeah. Okay. So, let's see, I'm going to see if leadership can contain what I want to do. Yeah. Okay. I want to lead us through a sneak to that green room tent.
Ooh. Okay. Remember that is really just sort of a, like, via burlap. It really is a cordoned off area inside the largest of the tents.
Right.
It doesn't have an external. Now, it is
but
a
is
tent,
there like
of
a
course.
guard? Is there a roped off area with a supervisor? Because I think I can talk my way past it.
It's entirely possible. I mean, there are, as I was suggesting, like these chairs in here are starting to fill up even now.
Okay.
And like I said, so there's three big ones, and it seems like everyone is really being directed to the middle of the three tents.
Okay.
You don't actually, you see the occasional people going into the other tents, but they seem to be, they work here. It's pretty clear.
Okay.
It's also a tent. It's not Fort Knox. We could just
I know,
in the back of it.
I just want to make sure that if we're going into a situation where adults might stop us, I'm prepared for that eventuality. But I don't think we want to go in the main tent, right? Like, we want to go look at that green room tent, the one that was off to the side. Or was that a room or something?
It's inside
the
of
main
this tent.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's inside. Okay. It's just sort of like a little separate area. Like at a convention, you might have pipe and drape. It's just sort of separated from it inside there.
Technically, we do work here because we did the trenches.
That's
That makes
true.
us like
we are
staff.
Employees. Yeah.
We should be able to get
I've got
in.
Stephen Messner's name. I've got it on the tip of my tongue, ready to drop it anytime an adult decides they want to fuck with us. So, so I guess we go into that main tent, and rather than sneaking, because it's where everybody's going, let's just, I'm like, okay, everybody, the secret to getting anything you want all the time is just act like you already deserve it. So just get in there and look like you belong. And so I stand up and I fold my hands very primly, and I lead the way lead the way into the tent.
You're like this. I just create the sort of God hand configuration. Nice. So you are pulling so you're basically just like sort of drawing them in. Mm-hmm. Now, as this happens, you in the manner of there's a biblical account of this happening as well, but Danny, you cast one last look before you enter this tent and go far in. You cast one last look behind you out into the safe night, and you see a tearful Brittany Ramone.
What?
In her hand, she is clutching a pamphlet that reads, "Come to the refuge and be born again." And the eyeshadow, the mascara is forking down her cheeks.
Oh no!
Oh no!
And I see this like as we're already walking in.
No, exactly. Like you cast like one last look. Like, okay, I guess we're doing it. I guess we're going into this thing.
Yeah, but if I saw that, I would stop.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, don't make me walk past this scenario.
I'm not gonna do that. No way.
Okay. No, I stop and I turn around and I'm like, when I look at her, like, this is very much Brittany?
No, it's some hybrid. It's like the persona is made up of pieces of different versions of herself.
Oh, I get it. So I like turn on my heel and I like cast a glance over at the gang heading into the tent, and I'm like, how far away could they get? Classic blunder. And I turn back over and I just go, hey B.
And then she like inadvertently, she makes the eye contact, and then she's not, it's like it's too intense. She can't pretend it didn't happen, right? She can't pretend to just have played her eyes across it and then look away and continue moving. And
So-
she is frozen there in space.
What actually happens is I say B and it comes out of my mouth, and then I
Yeah.
think to correct myself, and so I go, hey B, Brittany. And I walk up and I go, what are you doing here? And then when I get closer, I just go, are you okay?
She says, she sniffs and says, I think I will be.
And then Danny has a moment, and she goes, "You're not here for this, are you? Are you? Is your like mom inside or something?"
She's like, she basically like her, like, again, like it's just instincts. She's just a bundle of anxious lightning, and she like reaches her hand out and then pulls it back and says, I think we should go in.
I think I look at her and I like go to like put my hand out, and then I retract it, and so my hands are just like this, and I go, I'm gonna go in, but it is not to you don't want this. You don't want to get commingled with this.
And I love it. I love that. I love that it would be that younger
Pure
person.
Porky Pig.
Yeah, but just like throwing out like the biggest. It's like, I know that these large words have power, right? Like a talisman, right?
Yeah, it's an SAT word,
Yeah.
and I'm using it.
And she says, we can go in together.
And I laugh. I go, yeah, I don't think they're gonna like that.
I stick my head out of the tent flap at this point. I'm like, Danny, where'd you?
And I go, yep, I got it. I'll be right there. And I look back at Brittany and I go, B, I implore you to not listen to these people. You seem like you got too much sense for that. And because like I can't, like, what I'm thinking is like,
Yeah.
literally anything else I would say is like I'd have to get into, and then we saw a ghost allegedly. I sure didn't see it. Who knows?
Well, here, no, hold on. So let's take a second right here. How hard is Danny gonna go with the information? Like, is Danny gonna actually like try to string it out? Like,
Exactly.
is Danny desperate enough to do the story?
But
Oh yeah.
is there time?
Well, she can't wait anymore.
Okay.
She can't wait for it anymore. She walks in of her own accord.
Okay. So like I see her walk by me and I just go like, I'm like, okay. Messed up that interaction. And I hate that she's going inside, but the only way to make sure that she does not become, I don't even know what these people are going to do. Grind these people's bones to make their bread. Like,
Yeah.
so
It's
I just go
worth
inside.
considering. It's worth considering. So it sounds like a big part of the plan, Rosie, is you want to try to get back to that corner.
Mm-hmm. And I think that my instinct would be to actually, like, the reason I stuck my head out was like, bring her along.
Uh-huh.
Like, if she's a friend, then we want her to be safe too. So if Brittany comes in the tent, I think that Rosie would just be like, great. Okay. Yeah. You too. Come on. And just like folds her into the friend group now. She's like, okay. And I don't tell her anything about the ghosts, but I'm like,
no. You don't lead with ghost.
This is, hello, Brittany. We meet again.
We
can resolve our business at a later time, but right now we need to get at the bottom of something, and you are now recruited. So just follow my lead. And then God hands her back, moving through one of these altar aisles all the way up to that tent area.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you have begun to enact Operation God Hand, Rosie B. Stinger. You have a wake of penitent souls behind you, entering into this cloister. And as soon as it's as though the music takes on a different timbre as you are moving farther and farther into the tent. It's almost like you think that it's actually more than the music itself. You think that the music, it almost seems like the music is covering up something else. Like the music is there to provide a kind of soundtrack or distraction to some other sound.
Oh, okay.
Ugh.
Which of the this is absolutely me metagaming it with Tris, but I think that Rosie turns to Danny and says, like, you've got really good hearing, right? Like, do you hear anything weird? Don't you have like, it's like wolf hearing? That's what I've heard anyway.
No, that's ridiculous and unfounded. I do hear something weird.
Yeah. Well, and it's more than that. You start out with that thing. It's like, listen, it's not what you've heard. But I'm not a witch. But there is a sound, but there's also a feeling. Like that sound is accompanied by something that you can feel even through the soles of your boots.
Interesting.
I feel it too. Hallelujah.
It's down. It's deep. It's deep down.
Interesting.
Friends. Mr. Mesner steps out in front of the band. Says, "Let's all take a seat and let's begin tonight's work."
Okay, we gotta hustle.
Yeah, are we hearing this through what I hope we are actually able to get back to that little tented area as this person is speaking, and maybe everybody's distracted by that.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So he, as I suggested, he is actually calling people to, begin the evening's project for sure. So you're saying that this is a time where you'd like the group maybe to take a peek in there.
Yeah. So this is the right time.
Absolutely.
Everybody praying. They're going like this. I hope.
I need 2 sneaks, and it doesn't matter to me who does them.
Who's good at sneak?
Boy,
I have 5 total sneak.
I got 6 total.
Yeah.
Also, of the most of us don't want to be here, and
yeah, you're basically going to be pulling the rest of the group with you, sort of like when you came in. You'll be pulling the rest of the group with you in the wake of your sneak. And just as you are starting to try to disappear, Dee, you see off of the stage out front, you see your father shaking hands with Stephen Mesner.
Ah, God damn it.
Oh, geez.
Wah, wah.
My sneak was wildly unsuccessful, but I'm going to blow another luck and re-roll everything.
Get it.
As I get up to start sneaking, I do say to Chris, I was just saying, remember that dad stuff we were talking about? And then I just kind of put my head back down.
My second sneak also wildly unsuccessful.
My sneak was killer. 3 of my 6 dice I rolled were 6s.
Jeez.
I
12
trashed.
times.
I got a garbage sneak, and I didn't
Well,
get it.
your sneak, if with 3 successes, this is like a cloak of shadows type situation where you're just like it's like you're sneaking by. It's just like Rosie said before. You're sneaking by being obvious, by being. It's like you belong there, right?
Yeah.
And so you've brought a bunch of your friends from school, and you're bringing them along, and you've done your best, Rosie. But you get wrapped up in your bodyguard's wake, essentially, and pulled over. And so, sort of peering into that, peering past that tarp, and inside, it looks different in here, Rosie. The 2 tanks that you saw are now actually they've been tapped, for lack of a better term, and there are great trunks that have they're almost giving off a mist. They're so cold. They're condensing water directly out of the air around them. And there's these 2 fat trunks leading from those tanks out the side of the tent and into one of the, and toward one of the adjacent tents.
It's a tent hunt.
This seems inefficient. Should just put it all in the initial tent.
Hey, nerd, why don't you go like tinker over there and see if you can figure out what these machines do?
I almost wanted to do my tinker. My tinker.
We both start pushing you. You're pushing you back and forth between us.
Don't, it's cold.
Hey,
with the knobs, nerd. Come on.
This is not just regular cold. This is loop cold. I can't touch this barrel. I'm gonna freeze to it. My body. I want to see how.
Go ahead.
If it pierces through the tent wall and heads out there, I feel like that's maybe where
it runs underneath.
Oh, beneath it. I see. Okay, so there's no way to know what.
Maybe through a trench.
Not one of my trenches because it's a little bit shallow.
Our trenches?
Can't help feel a small part of pride there.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Obviously, this is all some pretty bad shit, but
look how well they're buried.
I did
look
all
how
right
good
on
that
this.
trench is. That's a huge pipe. Look at that. That's flush. No one's going to trip over that.
Laying some serious pipe in that trench.
Yeah.
Oh boy. We are in a church.
Yeah, relax. This is a tent.
Of sorts.
It's a tent.
Yeah.
Of sorts. So, what's the play?
Of what I remember, my dad was telling me about this technology and my familiarity with it.
Yeah.
I want to understand why they would be. Are they able to, like, in the way that this osmium is a waste product?
Yeah.
Can they reverse entropy the process and use the waste product in order to connect to the loop? Are they trying to force an opening here?
Oh, that's Cthulhu's galaxy brain right there.
But that's very like Explorers 80s movie type sci-fi. So your theory is that they're utilizing like the end point of this process to sort of
to hook into the
catalyze it back in. That's very interesting.
They're trying to use toxic waste to remake nuclear power.
Yeah, and to do that, I'm going to use my my body move.
So where are you gonna to look? Where are you gonna examine?
So in this space, there's nothing other than the 2 tanks and then
the 2 tanks
these
and then
big pipes
exactly
going into the ground.
Yeah. And then the pipes are leaving out toward one of the side tents.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I got to check out at least one of these other tents. I hope there's nobody else out there, but I tell the group, like, I think that's where we have to go. We got to go to at least one of these and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm already on my way. Can I get through? Is this a thick tent?
You could try to like get the camel's nose under the tent and just like crawl out from underneath it if you wanted to. Absolutely. And then as you are pushing your way through,
No. And let's say this is a character moment that pays off the exercising I did. I turn to the group
Yeah.
and I grab hold of the edge of the tent so we don't have to go back this front. And I go, I saw this in my buns videos.
Oh, so you sort of pull it up and lift it out.
Yeah.
Danny, during these sneak fests, at some point, Brittany has left the group.
Come on, B.
I'm just letting you know. We have a fork here.
All right. Well, I gotta uncover the truth, if I'm gonna, reveal them to be whatever the hell they are. So I guess I gotta just hope that she has the mental fortitude to hold out for 30 seconds while I figure this shit out.
Exactly. So are the rest of you pulling out? You're gonna head underneath this opening that's been provided by Mr. Straub.
Yeah, we're gonna do a caper.
Yeah.
Two things happen. There's a close up on my face that's like the Cthulhu's taking a physical initiative on
this
something.
Is not in the book.
Sorry, Chris,
this is not in the book.
Now instead of calling you Chris, I'm just going to call you Cthulhu.
That's fine.
It is completely 180'd. And then the close up is on my face. I'm like, huh. And then the close up is on his buns, and then it's back on my face, and I'm like,
There's no give in the fabric.
A quarter falls from the top and bounces off like striking a drum, like dung,
bung. But then Chris goes, ow, 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 owie, 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 owie. Rolls around on the ground because it hurts so much because I'm very frail. But the buns are strong.
Is this taking us outside and then we have to sneak over to another tent?
Yeah, exactly. So you're basically right outside this tent in this naked open space between that and the next one.
As we're scurrying between tents, I say to Chris and to the group at large, I just kind of say we have to stop this. Is your dad a good guy?
I like my dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a different dad.
My dad's not a good guy, and he's up there on stage right now, so that means this is very bad.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And we need to stop this, and we need to call my brother.
Let's stop this first.
Yeah.
Because I don't know whatever they're doing, if it works like in serial or parallel.
He's like, I love it. Yeah, I don't know.
Congregation might go whoop and they're gone. Yeah, we're running out of time.
LPT, and you can hear sort of like occluded by the heavy canvas. You can hear it is just as we have said, brothers and sisters. The old self has died, and your new life is kept with Christ in God, but He has turned the work of our hands towards something marvelous, something magnificent. That is the revelation of the refuge, that we must kill this old self. And there is the vibration, the bass waveform erupts from the out tents to the extent that you can see the wave of it crawl slowly through the ground itself. And when these rings intersect, you are no longer where you were. So, no, you just let me drive for a second. So the first one is for D. In the very next moment, and unfortunately I have to drive just because it's for a humorous purpose. In the very next second, you are seated in the back of a bus. And you can see yourself in the front of the bus, and all you can think to do is to say, it's okay. It was just me. It was just me the whole time. All right. Now, did everybody think of something that they regret?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go. I'll go first.
Mr. Strap.
Oh no, Strab goes first.
Okay. I was picked. I was selected. My regret is that once my father died, went missing.
Yeah.
Didn't know what happened to him. But I believe that he was still out there. In moments of weakness, I thought, you know what? Maybe my mom is right about all this God stuff. Religion is such a great comfort to her. I could go there. Maybe I'd find peace there. But if I had found that peace, I would have never kept looking for my dad. And I keep imagining a scenario where I'd given in fully and destroyed any chance of having him back again. So I was angry at myself for that weakness of believing that maybe I could just feel good and belong to this society and never again.
So you are there in the room with yourself over your own shoulder, watching yourself with trepidation, then interest, and then maybe even something like enthusiasm, turning the pages of a Bible. What do you offer yourself in this moment? How do you try to communicate with this slightly younger version of yourself?
Gosh, what do I send?
I know I'm asking for hard stuff.
It's a tough one because it's like it's like suddenly the younger version feels the Bible pages close, and then a trigonometry book falls.
But then the book closes like, this is actually the funniest way that this Chris Strap, you know that I'm right. This is the funniest way that this would work out.
You know what? As much as it would be the funniest way, and in that moment, that young Chris would be like, "That's on the nose," but it would still be delivered. Like the message would be received. It's like I still think that was just the wind, but okay.
Exactly. No, in this, and then sort of between these little vignettes, there's the sort of like grating, like too harsh PA voiceover from the front of the stage. And it says, these moments of sin they're like a magnet for the soul. They'll draw you back to it. And you have a chance to be healed, to be literally born again. What is yours, Rosie?
So, my one regret that comes to me very visually in this moment is there was a time, maybe a year or so ago, my mom, who's the coach of the Derby team, the Booney Bitches,
Yeah.
she was talking to me about their crop of potential new recruits. And
Oh no.
one of the people that she mentioned as being super promising and really good at the sport was Danny K. Grass, who goes to my school.
No.
And the last thing, there's very few people at my school who have ever been on Derby. Like, it's really to get under the Derby team at that age is a really big deal and would turn her into an overnight celebrity. And
this is a nightmare.
I wasn't willing to compromise my own social standing in that way because I've never been very nice to her, and that would have wrecked my whole plan. So my mom tells me this story, and I lied. And I said that Danny had offered me a marijuana cigarette behind the school and that I had said no, and that she had tried to pressure me into smoking it, and I said no and ran away, and that she was one of the bad kids, and that it would just look really bad for the Booney Bitches.
So in this moment, we'll modify the scene briefly so that your apparition can manifest.
Okay.
She is making dinner as she asks you about Danny.
Okay.
So she is actually in one room over, and you are on the couch with your book, and she says, have you heard of, there's somebody who could be a real factor. Do you know Danny Grass?
And
then
until
in
this
that
point,
moment,
I was bored. Like,
yeah.
I was just like, oh, derby shit. And then she mentions Danny, and I'm like, I open to the page.
Exactly. And then you open to the page, and it's almost like the light drops lumens inside the room. And there is another version of you there who can talk to this younger version of yourself.
Okay. What do I say?
So this is the Rosie on Rosie. This is the Shadow Rosie for those of you who have followed the game for a fair bit.
I think what I whisper in my brain, I guess, into my brain is, listen, if you're gonna have regrets, you better make it worthwhile. And this one's not gonna be one that you enjoy for any period of time. So let's just save it. Let's just save this regret. Why don't you say something else? And then basically that's it. Like you flash out. And then I to my mom. So what happens is I open my mouth and I say, well, I have something I want to tell you. And mom's like, what? From the next room over, very casual.
Yeah, and then she comes in.
Yeah, and then she comes in and she's like wiping her hands on a towel. She's like, what's up? And I open my mouth to say, Danny's a bad kid. And what comes out instead is, I've decided I want to start shaving my legs.
Oh, just exquisite, just exquisite. Now, Dee, did you come up with a regret? Because the power and energy of this emotional magnet, if the memory is powerful enough, can drag you through multiple memories.
D being Douglas.
D being Douglas, exactly. Are you muted?
Oh.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you got? What do you got for us?
I'm
join the therapy circle.
Well, so this is taking a different form than I thought maybe it would, because is this like a rewriting history thing? Because I could make like an anachronism that was then amended.
Of course you can. Yeah, here. Now, do you want me to give you a second so you can cook up something? I know you like the 4D chess.
Well, no, I think I've got something. If we can approach this from an anachronistic, so this is something that maybe hasn't been established, but we could say it's established, but then we can immediately erase it, like Picard with the mechanical heart episode. So we'll say there was a time when, home life for Douglas is established as not being great.
No.
And there was a time that there's an alternate reality, let's say, where he runs away. He gets tired of it and he leaves home.
No shit.
And then when he leaves home, the repercussions don't necessarily fall on him, but things get harder for Kathy.
No.
And so without him being around to be a support structure for her, I mean, he misses her obviously, but there's more to their like sympathetic and symbiotic relationship than all that, and it becomes something of a massive regret, and something bad really happens in the time while he's gone to her, and that becomes a big regret. And he comes back.
Yeah,
I mean, kids don't run away forever. Like, he eventually does come back, and this is part of the reason he gets initially kicked out of his private school.
Perfect.
For his public school. So at the point of like packing his bags, storming into his room and packing his bags and saying, I've had enough of this. That's when, I don't know. That's when he engages himself.
Yeah, exactly. But it could be something really easily. It could be something like just hiding all of the bags.
Well, yeah, or
So
every
just
time
that
he goes to put something back in, it's empty again.
Yeah. So just you have like all you need is that like 10, 15 minutes for the cortisol to break down
Yeah.
for you to really think about it.
Yeah. We could say like he was as he's packing everything, there's something that's really important. Maybe it's something that Kathy's even given him. Maybe this might be a hat on a hat at this point. But there's something he's looking for and he can't find it. And every time he puts it back in the bag, it's missing again.
Yeah.
And in searching for that last item to put in his bag, it takes so long that he eventually
you stop.
leaves the moment and then he cools off.
That's awesome, dude. That kicks ass. All right, now I have another one. Obviously, the finale ends a specific way, but I would like to know what Danny's regret is.
Yes. Okay, I'm thinking about this a lot.
Aren't we all?
Pull up to the therapy circle. Okay. Danny, when she was younger, used to be like way more of a Spitfire.
Oh.
Like the version that you know of her, she's like, very anxious and like, very like, she's not very confident.
Yeah.
And let's see. Yeah. Okay. So it, really, there was a time back when she was 13 that she was, what was she doing? I don't know. Like maybe she was like, maybe that's like the time she saw her first bout. Okay.
Yeah.
And she's like she's sitting in the bleachers and she sees somebody skate by and she's like, oh, wow. Like they're like so good. Wow. They're so amazing. And it's like, just like the, wow, I totally want to be like her. And then she has that flip where she's like, is there something else to that? Like, do I want to be her or like,
yeah,
do I want to like, do I
want to kiss her?
Or do I have these like other feelings? And it's like literally at that moment, like it's that glass shattering thing where it's like everything feels different. Suddenly everything is off slightly. And she is like just not like having like an immediate panic attack, but she's like, this is, well, what does that mean? Like, whatever. Anyway, and she gets home that night, and here's the moment that she regrets is she walks in and she's just like in a daze, and her mom asks her, is there anything you want to tell me? Like, is there anything going on? Like what's going on with you or whatever. And in that moment, Danny said, oh no, I'm fine. And that is the forking of her personality where she decided in a split second, this is not something to talk about. This is something to hide. If I were to reveal my true self to everybody, horrible consequences, who knows? I am a freak. And so just the drawing inward over the next 2.5 years.
So how does Danny thumb that scale?
Yeah, so I guess she would be like standing in the room now, like looking at her younger self, like just having come back from like, seeing this bout or whatever, and like, at the literal precipice of the situation. Yeah,
and like the voiceover again, like too harsh, coming through the inexpensive microphone, sort of pushed out of this rental PA system. It's just like, we will become angels to ourselves.
And Danny like thinks about the words, and like even in her mouth they sound too heavy. So she just like leans over and she like kind of like elbows her younger self like in like a spectral sense and just says like, just give her the truth. And I think that younger Danny would be like
too surprised, even like
she wouldn't. I think the only thing she would be capable of saying at that time is, I think I might be different.
That's incredible. So you imagine then that you are sort of drafting through time, seeing much less coalesced scenes that are familiar to you, but But you don't get to pause on these. You don't get to rest on them. And the next profound, emotionally resonant memory is underneath these bleachers.
Right.
Except you aren't alone. You are there, and Brittany is there. Two shadows watching themselves beneath the bleachers.
Am I interacting in this moment, or is this just for fun?
We can play as much Dungeons and Dragons as you want.
I get the sense that I am not only not alone, but not alone.
No. Yeah, on multiple axes.
And I look over at the shadow of B next to me, who is also witnessing this event.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like she is, as a shadow yourself, looking at the shadow, it's much clearer. It's much clearer, right? It just sort of almost like a translucent, detuned, like a ghost in an 80s movie, for lack of a better term.
And I don't move. I don't want to move too fast. Like if I move too fast, I'll scare. But right. I go, you're not trying to change this. This is the only thing that's right.
She says, I've seen this 10 times. Stopping these assholes has been a big project for me, but I never get tired of this. And she reaches her hand out, and you walk across the 6 lanes, cars harmlessly passing through you, until you get back to the refuge. You walk through the tarp of the tent. You can see that the parking lot is completely empty. Everyone has pulled away for the night. She produces a pistol, fires it into the 2 tanks, which explode in wreaths of flame around you. It's Monday morning. Unfortunately, that monstrous functionary of the public-private partnership, the C team, no doubt has another week of torments for you. She says, "Hallelujah, kids, and the wall phone rings. She answers it, looks at you, looks back at the phone, and says, "Thank you for nothing," and hangs up the phone. She turns back to the class and says, "Well, that's a week's curriculum out of the window." That's the end of our story. Now, thank you so much.
That was so good, Jerry.
Shadow Council. May our labors please you. We will be back for some table talk here in mere moments. Don't go nowhere.
I hope so.
We'll be right back.
God.